Man, you guys thought DKOldies was bad. Well, what if I told you there's a retro gaming company that is 100 times worse than DKOldies, and their name is retrovgames. Now in this video, I'm going to explain the whole situation and why retrovgames is trying to screw me now. A little background here, retrovgames is an online retro site very similar to DKOldies, and they sell refurbished consoles but send out non-refurbished consoles. Now, so far I've bought 2 consoles from them. One was a backwards compatible PS3 and an Xbox 360. I made videos on both of them. I'll have links down below if you want to check those out. If you like my DKOldies videos, I think you'll really like those because those were there was some interesting stuff there. But basically, quick recap: the PS3 was non-refurbished. It was dusty, dirty, filthy inside, had bugs, and it was actually drop shipped from eBay. Again, super sketch stuff. The 360 was a little bit better, but it was in a really sketchy box, and the whole situation was weird. Again, non-refurbished. But basically, where the meat and potatoes start here is the fact that I decided I was going to return the PS3 because of just like how bad it was, and they deserved a return on this. Basically, they're blocking my return now and just will not let me return it. So let me just start you out with the timeline here of the PS3 purchase, because that will come into play pretty crucially here in a second. Now, April 10th was when I bought the console. April 18th is when it was delivered, and April 19th is when the game was delivered. Now, let me first just start by showing you the return page right here, and it's actually broken now. Like, it was working when I did the return, but if you press, like, I have my order ID, my billing email here, I press track, and it should take me to the return process, but it's just broken now. Don't know why, but we'll go back to let's go to the email they sent me. So basically, after I filled out the return request, which I don't know if I said it, but it was May 15th. So it was within 30 days that I filled out the return request. So May 15th, and they sent me an email. You can see May 15th, 3:37 p.m. Basically an automated email that says, yep, you started a return request. Now wait for us to approve it. And guys, 4 days later is when they finally respond to my return request. And I'm going to blur out the sensitive info here, like the name and stuff. I do use an alias in some of these purchases, but they basically say, we hope you're well. Just following up to see if there's any response to our previous email regarding a return request. I look forward to hearing from you soon. So that's best regards, Azir. And that kind of caught me off guard because they never sent me an email. Like, all they sent was the return request confirmation. And I even went through my spam and my whole email history, and there was nothing there. So I respond back and say, hello, I'm just waiting for the shipping label to return the console. Haven't received any other emails from you. Thanks. And one other thing to point out here is they are sending these emails very late. Like, the first one was 12:31 a.m. And then the next one was 3:57 a.m., which is just a little bit weird from a company that's like supposedly in the US. Odd stuff. But the next thing is, hello, since your request is still being reviewed, no return label has been issued yet. This was the context of our previous email to you. So basically, it's just a bunch of few paragraphs of BS saying, we're so sorry you got a dirty console. Can you please send us a video of the problem? And I'm just like, really? You need a video for me to return a console? Like, this is the first red flag, a video. Come on. So to be fair to them here, I was 4 days late on this email because I was on vacation and just like missed their previous email. So I respond 4 days later and say, I attached photos with my original request. The console is not defective, but I paid a premium for a supposedly refurbished console, which this console was not. Please send me the return label. And then like a few minutes later, I decided, like, let me just go ahead and resend these photos. So let me just show you the photos that I sent to them. There's a photo with the dust coming out the back. There's a bug that flew out of the console. There's a bug leg that flew out of the console. If you saw these videos, you'll know that those indeed did come out of the console. And now here's when their responses start getting like really ridiculous. So here they go. They reply a day later, and the first 2 paragraphs are kind of like the same BS. We're like, we're so sorry we sent you a dirty console. And then the third paragraph is where I'm like hard face palming, like, cannot even believe they're saying this, but let me just read it to you. So it says, we want to assure you that we are committed to resolving this issue for you. As per our policy, we are more than willing to replace the item with a new one in clean and suitable condition. However, upon reviewing the details of your order, we noticed that the return and refund policy, a period of 30 days, has elapsed. And at this point, I just like, I'm on vacation at this point. I'm just like, I cannot believe they just said this. So let me take you back to that timeline I discussed. So console was delivered on April 18th. I filed a return request on May 15th, so that's less than 30 days, fine within the policy, right? But they are saying here that I was over 30 days, and the reason I'm over 30 days is because they took 4 days to respond to my email request. And I don't think that's a coincidence, because if we step back and look at their first email, which was on May 19th, 12:31, you'll realize that May 19th is actually day 31. So they waited 30 minutes after my window elapsed to finally reply to me and say, hey, do you want to return this now? Like, I don't think that's a coincidence. Let me know down below if you do, but guys, with what I've seen from this company, I do not think that's a coincidence. And guys, we're not done yet. They keep doubling down here, so let me show you the rest of the emails. Now, the first thing I'll note here is that this email was from Ollie, which is weird because the first one was from Zir, so we're now on 2 different customer representatives. And basically, yeah, the rest of this email is just them saying, you can pause if you want to read the whole thing, but basically they're saying, we'll send you a replacement, but I'm just like, no, I want to return because I wasn't within 30 days. Now, my reply to that email is basically what I just explained, where I say, I want to return for a refund. I received on April 18th. I filed a return request on May 15th. So that's within 30 days. So I'm within your refund policy. And then their reply to that is just, this is where they start to really go off the rails. First of all, we're now coming from Marie, which is our third representative, at 5:36 a.m. So at this point, I'm like guaranteed that they are using a third-party company somewhere foreign, not in the U.S., to run their customer service. And they say, thank you for your message. We would like to ask the exact reason you want to return your order. Please also note that as per refund policy, the item needs to be returned to our warehouse within 30 days of receipt. Like they're just making stuff up here on the spot now. Like where in the return policy? Like maybe I missed it, but I read through this whole refund policy and I did not see anything in here about needing to be back in their warehouse within 30 days. Like I've returned and bought tons of things from different companies, and I've never had a policy where somebody says it has to be back in our warehouse by this X date, because like that's completely dependent on UPS, Postal Service, FedEx, and like you can't rely on that. So what a ridiculous thing to say to me. And like at this point, I'm pretty mad. So like I'm getting pretty spicy here. In terms of spicy, for me, it's not that spicy, but let me just show you what I say. So I said, I've already conveyed the reason, and I've been trying to get a return label for 9 days now. Just look at the email thread. Like, why is this taking so long? Please send me the return label ASAP, or I will have to contact my bank. And then the email to that is now the fourth representative, and it says, hello, thank you for reaching out to us and explaining the situation for the 12th time. We apologize for any inconvenience. Could you please attach a video? They keep asking for a video of my problem. And I'm like, dude, I don't have a video. Like I can't replicate dirt and bugs flying out of the console. Like what in the world? And you guys might be thinking like you can just send them the YouTube video. And I'm trying to leave the YouTube video out of this to kind of just be like a normal consumer here, like a normal customer, to get the whole experience without sending them YouTube videos. I just don't want to open that can of worms. So my response here is, what do you need a video of? I said in my previous emails that there was dirt and bugs flying out of the vents of the consoles. I can't just take a video and replicate dirt flying out of the console. I already attached the photos previously. Console was sold to me as refurbished, but it clearly never was refurbished, and I want to return it. Like, why is it so hard to send me a return label? I've never had this much difficulty getting a return label from anyone before. And this is the point where I'm like, screw it, I'm going to file a chargeback on my bank. So these guys are done with. Now, this here is the last email they sent. And again, notice it's at 4:07 a.m., middle of the night. Another one from Marie. So again, 4 representatives in this email thread, just like so weird. And of course, the first like paragraph or so is a bunch of BS, like, oh, we're so sorry we sent you a bad console, blah, blah, blah. And I can't with these guys. And then they say, we understand that it did not meet your expectations, blah, blah, blah. However, I regret to inform you that you can no longer process a refund for the product in question due to the expiration of the refund period. And like, this is 3 times now. They've tripled down on their refund policy of needing to be back in their warehouse within 30 days, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That's basically what they say. You can pause it if you want to read the whole thing, but basically they say that there, and they go on to blame me. They're like, we would have been more than willing to honor your request had you informed us of the issue sooner, allowing us to address it in a more favorable manner. Unfortunately, this was not the case in your situation. So they're full on blaming me now that I did not respond soon enough, that I should have shipped it out 4 days after receiving it. My last email to them is, I've never seen a company contradict themselves as much as this. Your return policy states the following, and I took this straight from their return policy. It says, if your item arrives defective, damaged, or you are dissatisfied with the condition of the item, you can return the item for a full refund. The refund policy is limited to 30 days. After 30 days, the 121-day warranty will still apply. And I'll get into the 121-day warranty here in a second, but yeah, this whole thing is just them contradicting themselves and denying my return. And yeah, I did not plan on making another video about retrovgames, but after this whole experience with them, like, guys, please do not buy from this company. And man, if you came up to me now and said, should I buy from retrovgames or should I buy from DKOldies? Like, I'm going to 100% DKOldies. Like, that's not me recommending them, but I'm saying if you got to choose between the two, please choose DKOldies. At least they have a competent customer service team. And like, man, retrovgames just has the 1-2 punch of non-refurbished and no customer service. Like, you don't want that, man. Now, guys, we're not done here because retrovgames, the whole situation goes deeper and deeper because they are just a very weird company. Now, let's start out by looking at their Yelp page, which, as you can see, they have a 1.5 star rating, which is no surprise there. And if you notice, they have Marie responding in the comments or the reviews, which is the same person that responded to me a few times in the RMA request. And it's very clearly a stock image of the person. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a stock image. And if you come over here, there's a bunch of people on Reddit that call retrovgames a scam, which rightfully so. As you can see, retrovgames scam alert. I'm not going to read the whole situation, but if you go to Reddit and just search retrovgames, you'll find a few threads of people talking about them. And people with like the same situation as me, where they get stuff that is dirty or not working, and they they're given like a really hard time, like it's impossible to return to them. And you'll see this person right here that says, I bought a 3DS XL off their site and regret it. They instead sent me a 3DS LL, which is the Japanese model, to me, and I'm in America, so like you can't do anything with it online, and they want me to pay to ship it back to them. So it's stuff like that, and it's just like a bunch of people sharing the same stories. And then the next thread is even weirder. This person says they got a 3DS XL from them with a memory card loaded with an older version of Luma 3DS and pirated copies of the game titles as we paid for part of their bundle. So these guys are supposedly, like, I have not verified this, but these guys are supposedly shipping out pirated copies of games that people paid for. Like, are you serious? And I think somewhere in this thread, or a thread I saw somewhere, there was like an employee confirming that they did do indeed, like they hack all the 3DSs and put pirated copies of games on here. Again, that's just from what I'm reading, so I can't confirm or deny that. And here's where it gets even weirder. They used to be called Retrolio games, and as far as I can tell, they rebranded because they had such bad ratings on Retrolio games that they rebranded to retrovgames. Like, here's their Retrolio games Facebook page. If you click on their web link right here, it actually redirects you to retrovgames, so you know it's the same company. And the funny thing is, if you search Retrolio games, there's even more threads about it being a scam on Reddit. You'll even see the first comment here is they're a scam. They drop ship from other sellers, see their shipping policy. All the reviews were imported from Amazon to Shopify product import. So just such sketchy stuff. Like, drop shipping is fine, like if you have an agreement with somebody else, but when you're drop shipping retro video games that are supposed to be refurbished, like, that is next level dirty. And then on this next tab here, the Retrolio games BBB F rating, but the really weird thing here is the address. So I'm up to 4 addresses I've found now for this company. Let me just go through them. So first we have this 1884 in Allentown, Pennsylvania. This is what is listed on their Yelp site. So that's address number 1. And then address number 2 here is the Delaware one that was listed under Retrolio games. So that's 2 addresses. It looks like a forest or something. I don't know. The next one is what pops up when you just search Retro V Games on Google, which is now a different address in Allentown. And then the 4th address is what they list on their website now. You go to the bottom right there, it has a Texas address, and you search that on Google. And so it's a Texas address, pops up as Ingram Micro Incorporated, which is obviously not Retro V Games, weird stuff, but just super sketchy. They have 4 different addresses, and they've rebranded to a different business name. And guys, there's one more thing I want to talk about real quick, and that's the fact that you've probably heard me call Retro V Games the fake DKOldies, and that's for good reason. First of all, they're local competitors. They're only about an hour away. They're very similar business type, so a little bit sketchy there, but the really suspicious part is the fact that Retro V Games has a 121-day warranty, which is only 1 day longer than DKOldies. Until a few months ago, DKOldies upped their warranty to 365 days a few months ago, but if you looked back in, let's say, November 2022, DKOldies had a 120-day warranty. Retro V Games had a 121-day warranty. So pretty clear they're trying to one-up them there, and it's just super sketch, man. I don't have much else to say about this company. Just super sketchy company, sketchy, scummy, suspicious. I don't know what's going on here, but guys, please do not spend your hard-earned money at Retro V Games. Please go to like eBay or something. Look at actual photos or go local, anything like that. Just please avoid this company. You're going to have nothing but problems. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down below what you think about this company, and I'll see you next time.